Alright, hello and welcome to DK Vine Done Slow. As I continue Yooka-Laylee. And the Yooka-Laylee. Just Yooka-Laylee, no impossible layer. Although, considering I am only 8 pages and 94 quills into the game after 2 hours and 2 minutes and 21 seconds, perhaps the real impossible layer is my own insanity. Yeah, the loading screens here, the pages and quills used to bounce. They used to do this jiggle thing that was quite appealing to look at. And in the most recent update, I think, they completely eliminated that to bring it in par with the Switch version, which never had that kind of animation. I guess they wanted to make it more fair to everyone, so they just unified it across the board. But, I don't know. I miss it. I miss it. There's even a quip in there that it took ages, chuffing ages, I believe was the Andy Robinson line, to make those pages and quills animated. So, yeah, now that's gone. Now it's been erased from history. So, it's alright. It's alright. It is what it is. I'm gonna start. So, oh, yeah, well, have to do that. So, last we left Tribalstack Tropics, I was just kind of blundering my way around, trying to get something done before time ran out. So, today I will continue blundering around until time runs out. It's always satisfying to beat up baddies in this game. Like I said last week, Yooka and Laylee's movesets are so smooth and crisp. It's just so much fun to play the game. Like, look at the lighting effects here. Just, this game looks very, very pretty, and you very quickly forget just how small the team of Playtonic is, and just how much of a limited budget they actually had to work with. They really made the most out of their money, and you know, it's easy to forget that because we associate them with Rare, and you know, Rare always had at least the Rare that, you know, I think we laud and celebrate. They always had the backing of major studios, major publishers like Nintendo and Microsoft, and Playtonic's an indie studio. But it's so easy to forget that, because look at this game. This doesn't look like your average indie game. So there is the play coin, and you can hear Retro up there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Also hear some frantic baddies up above. Very Chris Sutherland, very obviously Chris Sutherland's voice, I should say, doing that's, once you begin, like, learning who does what voices in the extended, like, Rare Playtonic verse, of games, it's quite easy to start, like, pinpointing some people, and that is Chris Sutherland. I mean, is the most versatile of all the voice actors, but yeah, there it is. There, that's what I was hearing. You're dead. Let's go ahead and do Rextro. Rextro 64us. Before I talk to him, I'll just jump up there. This week, Kartos Carding. Those names on there, I believe, are the names of Playtonic children and family members who they sneaked in there. I think Penny shows up quite a bit throughout the game through various Easter eggs. Going all the way up there. Nah, you're dead. Alright, let's do this. So as you can see, like, Rextro... Oop. Sorry, Rextro. You know, Rextro is one of those meta characters where he kind of serves the Cranky Kong role in the game, only this time... the cranky of the game is referencing the games that this team primarily was known for making. And, you know, he very, like, sharp polygonal model with these scan lines, which I think are a bit overdone, but it helps sell the point. Although, you know, Rextro isn't just cranky in his personality. Rextro is very much kind of... Like Cranky raged against the state of modern gaming, and Rextro doesn't. He seems kind of blissfully naive. And I mentioned last time that this game feels like it was kind of a lot of its references, especially like the self-deprecating references to how like the industry had moved on from this type of game. It was kind of released on the cusp of, and helped usher in this kind of renaissance for 3D gaming, 3D platformers, I should say. And so a lot of these references don't really land anymore because, you know, in the time since Yooka-Laylee has come out, we've gotten more 3D platformers, and it's celebrated as a genre again. But it really was audacious of Playtonic to have a 3D platformer in the mold of Banjo-Kazooie be their first game. I mean, had they launched with something like Impossible Lair, I think that would have been perfectly understandable, and it would have generated a lot of press, I mean, considering how many people worked on the Donkey Kong Country games. But the fact that they went all in on a Banjo-Kazooie style spiritual successor, I don't think people give them enough credit for just how well it came off, especially for a small team in an indie studio that was just newly founded. All right, so I have to get my head around this. These mini games, these Rextro mini games, which are some of the more divisive elements of the game. People feel like they don't really feel like they're a part of the game, and that's understandable. But some of them are better than others, and this is one of the few I really like. So I will try to do it twice here, because you have to do it twice, no matter what your score is. This is more enjoyable for me than the actual cart toss segments, I have to say. Alright. Ah! It's still a little clunky. Speed boost is risky. And then you hit a B and it's all over. So I have to get around this 5 times. And then I gotta avoid those skull potions, because they will reverse my controls, and that's the last thing I need when I'm already struggling. I hit you! Ah, oh, come on! I did better on this last time I played it, I swear. I didn't have that speed boost at least. Yep. Underneath the B. I'm doing alright, but... Okay, now that registered as a hit. Terrific. This almost reminds me of a Mario Party minigame. Like slot car racing. You remember that, which was in Mario Party and Mario Party 2. But just the kind of wonky controls, very loosey-goosey. That's what it reminds me of. There's a steep learning curve trying to get better at this slot car racing in that game. I'm not even gonna try for the bridge. If you notice, it's not even worth trying for it because I'll land in the water. Okay, see, I'm trying to avoid that, and I'm just... Oh, okay, that's a shit show. Not great. Not great. This is the fifth... Ow! This is the 5th lap. Can get good at this. Oh, no! And see, I landed in the water. At least that resets me. I liked the little... I just now noticed they actually reverse the music, too, when that happens. Alright, well, that was terrible. Yeah, I won game, sure. Shut up, Laylee. I wasn't that easy. It's also weird that Yooka and Laylee play like these naive, like modern gamers who have no idea what Rextro is talking about in its references. It feels like they're almost, I don't know, talking down to the very audience that would have naturally gravitated towards this game. Although it wasn't, I mean, that might be how it comes across, but that wasn't the intention. Except the self-deprecating kind of humor in this game is a lot less harsh than Nuts and Bolts, where... Alright, 5-lap race, few things get the fastest time. So what is the fastest time? Alright, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I essentially just have to beat it in half the time you're given, which is 5 minutes. It is weird, though, how the high scores on this high scoreboard don't match what's seen in the actual game, because, you know, Penny is number 1. I don't have a fan wank for that. I've thought about it. I don't have a fan wank for it yet, so... But, yeah, Nuts and Bolts was very dour in its humor because it felt like the team and Rare itself kind of knew that might be it before, like, they got shut down or something. And obviously they didn't get shut down. They were redirected to Connect Sports and you know, but it was the last classic style Rare game in a long time, and it just felt kind of like a wake at a funeral in its humor. And this game doesn't feel like that. This game feels a lot more hopeful and optimistic in its humor, because it's the start of something, right? It's the start of Playtonic. No! Alright, I did alright on my first lap. If I can just keep that momentum, I'll have enough... Oh, just snaked around it. I'll have enough speed and time to make some errors. Don't want to hit one of those, though. That would really screw me up. It's interesting that you have this cart toss minigame that in no way whatsoever involves track. He's a minecart, right? Anthropomorphic minecart, and yet there's no track here. I mean, a minecart track. Obviously, this itself is a track, but... Oh! I hate when you get caught right when the flames are switching. I also wonder about the logic behind the Rextro games. I keep calling them retro games because the Donkey Kong Country fan in me is used to saying retro as a noun, as a name, right? Okay, I have like 32 seconds to do this, and I can't hit a bee. I can't hit the bees. But you notice like Yooka and Laylee are in Kartos. This isn't the real Kartos. This is just a like representation of Kartos in a video game. But how did Yooka-Laylee get in there? This game. Am I gonna make it? I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I made it. All right, that's good. That's good. So are Rextro's games like VR? Are they some form of like a holodeck? Because they just look like normal arcade games, and I don't know how Yooka and Laylee get inside of there as character models when they just met Rextro. I should tweet at Playtonic about that. I should pester them. So maybe that's the explanation for the leaderboarding consistency. I did get the high score, but nobody ever actually writes them down. So they just stay, like Penny was the last person who actually put in their high score, even though that time has been beaten again and again and again. I don't know. No, I don't want to play again. I'm done with this. Alright, so 9 pages. Alright, I guess I should go visit the Knights of Camelot. As much as I don't want to, as much as I hate them. Hate everything they represent. Oh, whoa, almost went into the chasm. Nothing will exist there until I expand the tome, so I should be more careful. You know what, I should just play it safe and go down into the trench. Gotta go into the weird little grove right over here. Oh, jeez. How come they're not attacking him? I guess they have no qualms with him, but you would think that this Ren Fair pig champing on candy canes would, you know, I don't know, pose some sort of security threat to their operations. So pigs. Let's talk about pigs. I mentioned last time how I seem to have beef, or I guess pork, with pig characters, because, you know, Professor Chops is alright, but I've never been super warm on Professor Chops. Crispy Bacon and the other pigs in Banjo-Tooie, and then the Knights of Camelot. I don't know, the Knights of Camelot, they just don't do it for me. This character is literally just, I like to eat. I have donuts on my belt. Donuts and candy canes, which aren't even in season 11 months out of the year. And this whole quest where he doesn't know where his fellow knights are, I don't really get that. So he doesn't know where they are, but I guess he knows where the next one is, like where one of them is. They all only know where, like, one other knight is. I guess that's the logic behind it, but it's just weird. Anyway, yeah, like, the fact that, oh, yeah. See, the fact that, I don't know, I'm used to the, like, characters in these style games being very one note, like one defining character trait. I don't know. I just don't like... Alright, yeah. Got it. Alright. I just don't like them. I don't know. And the fact that, like, where do they come from? Because they're not native to Tribalstack Tropics. So they came from another Grand Tome, but we never see that Grand Tome. Maybe they came from, like, elsewhere in the outer rare archipelago, if you will. Like, maybe they are oinks, like Professor Chops, and they come from Juicy Jungle, and they just are this weird Knights Templar sect of freaks who have carried on into the modern age. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but... anyway, I have to get back to... Oh, there's the Ghost Rider I was looking for last time. Got her. Okay. Nice. Stumbled into that. I do have to wonder, though, how Yooka-Laylee shadow exist, and then a secondary shadow forms when they jump, but clearly not part of the same shadow. Obviously, this is there to help with, you know, your platforming, so you know where to land when you do high-precision jumps. But what? How is there a secondary shadow? And I need to fanwag so much about this game, I've forgotten about it. There's the other pig now who just appeared. Alright, so right back to Rextro I go. Like, this whole quest or whatever, it isn't bad, really. I just don't like the Knights of Camelot. And I like so many of the characters in this game. I really do. But, something about pig characters, what can I say? Not Whiz-Pig, and to a lesser extent not Trough from off of Donkey Kong 64. I'm a fan of Pierce Nipples, I have to say. But sadly, there are no Pierce Nips on this gentleman. Well, there might be. I do like how the design of this one shows he's a boar. He's got the tusk. So at least he's more visually interesting than Candy Cane Man over there. I think he's my favorite design of the 3. Or the 4, or however many there are. I also appreciate that his vocal effects are nothing but snorts. So yeah, if they do bring back any of the characters, any of the knights, I'd want it to be Sir Shoots a lot. Also that he's got very obviously non-lethal arrows. They've got suction cups on them. It's weird that, you know, the member of a team that I gravitate to is the archer. Because it's not like anybody ever says Hawkeye is their favorite Avenger. Alright. Guess we gotta get to Rampo's treasure chamber. Honestly, I can just get lost platforming in this game, like just mindlessly running around. It's like sort of when Super Mario 64 first came out and you were just entranced by the very act of moving around. That was enjoyable enough, and Yooka-Laylee plays so great. The play control is just like that mesmerizing at times, where you just want to run around like that, look at that. It's just so funny how like mundane and ordinary 3D platforming did become throughout the N64 years. And then they get this back, but to get it like a game that just has some of the smoothest play control in this genre. When I first got the toy box, the Yooka-Laylee toy box, and they made that available to Kickstarter backers, it was kind of just joyous to have that feeling again of playing a game such as this. Alright, here we go. You can hear the rocking already. I suppose I like her design too. It's just funny to me how Gavin Price apparently has extensive documents detailing the Knights of Camelot and their backstory. Like, he clearly has them earmarked for a future game. And I don't think really many people... I mean, look, if they announce a Knights of Camelot game, obviously I would want to play it, because I'm a fan of Playtonic. And maybe they could sell me on the characters. I have to say, you know, Impossible Lair really did sell me on... I want to hear what the page has to say, sorry. Okay, just basically egging me on to collect more. But Impossible Lair really made a lot of the characters in this game who returned a lot more endearing than they initially came across. So maybe the Knights of Camelot could be redeemed. And this isn't the last time we will see them in this game. So maybe they could still, you know, inch their way into my heart ever closer, ever deeper before this game is through. I don't know. I do like that from the outset of Playtonic, they wanted to continue to expand the universe and spin off characters. And so far, we've only seen, out of 2 games, both games being helmed by Yooka and Laylee. So it would be interesting to see if Playtonic would ever go the full spin-off route. You know, like Banjo-Kazooie out of Diddy Kong Racing. But, who knows? Alright, so what else is there to do? I've got... I should check the actual world totals. So, only 3 pages from this world. Oh no, that's Hyrule Towers. Keep moving. 8. That's what I thought. Alright, sorry. 8 pages. I guess I could try to get the, try to get the transformation. Our chance to visit our old friend Royston. I love how Laylee has to help Yooka up. That is such a sweet little detail. Like I said, Laylee really, like, in this game, it's sort of a mixed bag, but in her portrayal in Impossible Lair, she really does come off less abrasive than Kazooie does at her worst moments. Like, I don't think we would ever see Laylee, I don't know, making light of the death of a husband in front of his wife, the way she did with Bottles and Mrs. Bottles in Banjo-Tooie. I think she's got a little bit more compassion than Kazooie does. Here we go, the Molecule. I'm not sure the science behind molecules. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Alright. So now it's time for some body horror. Yeah, I really do like how they went the opposite direction from Mumbo. I mean, opposite direction, but kind of a horseshoe in that it serves the exact same purpose. Because, you know, Mumbo and Humba, and really, like, the whole of Banjo-Kazooie with Gruntilda and Brentilda and all the Winky Bunyan sisters, they use magic, and they use different forms of magic, and the characters in this game, while magic is obviously in play with the Grand Tomes and Ghost Riders, characters who are, like, native to Hyrule Towers and Shipwreck Creek, they use science. They use science to essentially complete the same objectives that the magic characters in Banjo games do. So it's just a cool little touch. It's a cool little change. And, oh, yeah, there we go. The first transformation of the game. Oh, that's not it. That's a Banjo reference. Oh, the plant spray. This just becomes plant porn. Hey, stepsis, what are you doing? Real quick before we get before becoming an adult-only stream here, and there will be streaming involved, let me tell you. Gotta love how the transformation in the Yooka-Laylee games actually applies to both characters, because in the Banjo games, obviously, you know, Banjo was the one who was bodily transformed, and Kazooie had to stay in the backpack the whole time. And the one time there was a transformation that Kazooie got affected with, it was specifically for Kazooie, the Dragon Kazooie spell in Tooie. This time, Yooka and Laylee are always combined. They're separate individuals. They don't like share a brain. It's kind of like a conjoined situation, but they both form parts of the same transformation creature that they become. In this case, a plant. And Yooka is the flower, and Laylee is the whatever you call the I think it's a P word. I don't know. I'm not a botanist, but the P word, and she's sticking out the middle there. It's cool. It's cool that they give more thought to Laylee in these games, because in Banjo-Kazooie, you know, Kazooie was sort of a late addition to the game. It was Banjo as a character, and Kazooie was sort of like this creature who lived in his backpack that gained more and more of an identity over time, and sort of became the co-lead. But, you know, originally it was just Banjo as a concept, as a character. So, yeah, it's just nice that, you know, they had ideas to make Laylee just as important as Yooka from the outset here. So, just looking at this design, it's horrifying. You have to wonder what they're thinking as they're transformed to this, because this is a Cronenbergian situation if ever I saw one. So they can do that. They could spray. Which, well, you'll see. This is shameless. Oh, yeah. I mean, do I even need to spell out what they're implying here? Don't come on my face on the first date. Alright, 1 out of 6. So this is where the ability to kind of move any crate or barrel or barrier that's not locked down in this game really comes in handy as sort of a gameplay element, because you have to move this to get that bridge down to your level as a plant. And I could have just done this as Yooka and Laylee in their normal forms and not this horrifying plant beast, but I didn't think ahead, so now I'm trying to make it work. I'll get there. I'll do it. I love this springy noise. Everything about this is phallic in nature. There we go. Almost. Got it. Alright, 2 more. You can walk around the whole world in this form, and all the little plants that are scattered around will give you hints if you are the flower, Yooka-Laylee. They won't talk to you if you're lizard and bat, because they're racist. Oh, so racist. The one more. I always forget where the last one is. Not down here. Well, maybe it is. Thought they were all clumped together. Oh, that bouncing does get old after a while, though. Bong, 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 bong. See, I can show you at least what I'm talking about. In the expanded version, so I get the butterfly booster when I expand the tome. That's good to know. So I'm not just looking for it at a time. But yeah, I love the way the plants just sexually harass you when you're in this form. The reduced mobility when you're at the plant, though, does get old. Oh, there it is. See, it's just kind of hidden there, and I always overlook it. Here's a romantic gift. Let me shit it out. I wonder, like, if... Okay, let's just say Yooka and Laylee in this form impregnated one of these flowers. Is there any part of them, their DNA, that's still lizard and bat at this moment? Could you get some sort of hybrid baby? These are questions that need to be answered. And, you know, I was thinking about Grunny's Revenge and how that was originally going to be an alternate universe game that kind of became, well, not kind of became, definitely became a midquel instead, but there are lots of, like, AU possibilities, alternate universes that you could, like, spin out of a game like Yooka-Laylee, and one of them is, what would happen if Yooka and Laylee impregnated one of these flowers? Could we then, like, follow the adventures of that child as it grows? Sort of like Spider-Girl in Marvel's, like, AU. I don't know. That would be fun. That'd be fun. That would be fun to follow. I would be okay with that, more so than the Knights of Hamlet game. Give me that game. Oh, wow. That hurts? Oh, that knocks them back. Okay. Ah! Get away from me. Get away from me. I didn't know it knocked them back. Well, that's cool. What happens if I talk to Clara in this form? Now I'm just curious. I might as well explore a little bit. Bong, 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 bong. There you go, stream. I just wanted to come all over your face. You're welcome. Oh, she doesn't even react. I guess when you've had your flesh melted off and somebody walks up to you in a completely alien form to how you know them, you don't react because you know shit happens. I guess, you know, that is one way to really learn empathy, is to have your flesh melted off in a pot by a bunch of weirdo genetic monsters posing as tribal people. I guess. Yeah, I got it. Oh my god! So I had to take a screenshot of that. I'm just... Well, you were the one who wanted fondled, and now you're complaining. Don't you know that gets me up, baby? Alright, I should tone it down. Although Playtonic really egged me on. I feel like in this case, I can be as vile as I want to be. Vile Russell. Because Playtonic, I mean, how do they want me to react? I'm not even 3 hours into the game, and already there's been more jizz jokes than the whole of the Banjo-Kazooie series. A series that was pretty full of jizz jokes. Alright, I should become the lizard and bat again. This is not going to end well for me and for my audience. And I could cancel the transformation, by the way. I don't have to go back to Dr. Puzz, but I don't know. I just like going the extra mile and doing it properly, rather than just canceling it in the middle elsewhere. I feel like maybe because I let her know I'm okay. Like, hey, Dr. Puzz, it worked well, thank you. So that, I can't. I think I can get, yeah, what's down here until later on. I have to learn a move later on that will allow me to sort of walk underwater. Whoops. Saw these as plants, and they're very enticing. You gotta love how the music gets a little bit more bombastic or triumphant the closer you get to these big temple ruins. I think it might be time to expand the world. Trying to milk as much out of it. I know there's probably some quills I need to collect, right? But I think mostly I'm done as like with what I can do. Maybe I'll head back over here real quick, where Trouser and Bendy are hanging out, to Duke's little temple. But I think there's probably one, like I said, there's probably one or more things I could do. But that's not a reason not to expand. It's not like I'm gonna miss out on anything by expanding. Oh, there's that thing over there. A bunch of quills over there. Remember back on the N64 when you wouldn't have this level of draw distance, when it would be obscured by fog or it wouldn't even just load in? It's really nice that you can just look out now and just see everything at a distance. Ah! I'm sliding and I can't stop sliding. Ah! Okay, that was weird. Oh, wait. So I have to hit this. And then that cage opens up, but I have a very limited time, right? Oh, I've got to... Yeah, I've got a limited time and I gotta jump through the hoop-de-hoops. Hey, I did it. I did it on one try. I remember taking so long the first time I played the game to get that right. I think the temptation of trying to get all those quills while I was going through it all was really what tripped me up the first time. I'm proud of myself. I did it on the first try. Oh, I still see quills up there. Oh, no! Oh, I should have run into that butterfly so my meter could go back up. Although I might not need it to get over there. Ah, yeah. Well, that worked. That worked out well. Just, I guess, climb these rocks for a bit and get all these quills. Oh, this is such a beautiful game, though. I mean, really. I'm gonna go up there, too. I haven't been up there. Maybe I have. I don't remember. I'm still gonna explore it. It's just fun to explore sometimes. Even if I've already been up somewhere. Although, you know, you don't want to do that. I was just check back with Trouser because I honestly don't remember if I have all the moves from him in Tribalstack yet. I remember when Playtonic first showed off screenshots from this game, and fool me twice, shame on you, but fool me 3 times, shame on you, Playtonic. It will not happen again. But when they first showed off images from this, it was not quite Tribalstack Tropics yet. It was kind of a jungle world that became Tribalstack Tropics, but it was so cool to see that vibrant environment, that vibrant tropical themed setting that obviously Donkey Kong, you think about that, but Banjo had its fair share of tropical environments too. So it's just great to see that return to form. And they did respond to like fan input too. So I don't. This triumphant swelling music when there's no reason for it, because I think I have to expand to get any further up. Initially, there's a lot of floating platforms in their early screenshots, and fans said, hey, that looks like something out of a Mario game. We like the Rare style, where everything feels more organic. And Playtonic agreed, and they changed it. And Tribalstack was kind of like the compromise, because this is still a floating landmass, but everything on the landmass is organic. And if it does float, it has some sort of bullshit explanation like fans on the bottom of the platform that keep it up, or some sort of technology. So, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go expand the tome. And then we can visit Shovel Knight, as well as the worst tome, or worst quill in the game. One of the worst quills in the game. There are one or two other ones later on that aren't as notorious, but are just as bad as far as placement goes. I really want them to release like Grand Tome replicas that are like books you can store things in. Like you open it up, it's hollow inside, but you can keep something like a key or a treasured memento inside. That would be good merchandise, Playtonic. Talk to your companies that you deal with about that. Fangamer. Oh, I didn't check with Trouser. Oh well, I can do that when I get back in. I wonder how the pages decide which ones are going to jump into the book. Because obviously it doesn't seem to matter. But do they like draw straws, or do they like say like, okay, we'll choose this by word count, and whoever has the less words or letters on a page have to go in and expand it. I wonder sometimes about the politics and inner workings of pagey culture and society, since they're all part of the one book anyway. I really wish they still danced. It's just not the same anymore. Alright. So now we are in the full Tribalstack Tropics. Now, the logic behind expanding the world, there's Shovel Knight. As far as I can tell, it varies, but essentially what this does is it retcons the world. And so the world has always existed in this form, because like it's like changing the timeline a little bit, right? And each world has different mechanics for how it expands. Tribalstack is, I think, the way most people thought of when the concept was introduced pre-release. Other worlds have a lot more of a simplistic style of how they expand, and other worlds have a more intuitive logic behind how they expand. It varies each time. Some of them are more successful than others. I would say Tribalstack falls somewhere in the middle. But it is the cleanest. Well, I know Glitter Glacier would be the cleanest, but as far as like balancing between the intention behind the concept and how it's executed, I would say Tribalstack kind of just gets it right down the middle. And it's divisive. It's a divisive concept in the fandom. I like it. I think there's more they could have done with it. And maybe they didn't need to devote resources for it, but I get it. It was an intriguing concept, even if it didn't fully work out the way they wanted and fans wanted when we were introduced to it. Okay, so I did get them all. Alright, well that's a peace of mind. Alright. So now I should go see Shovel Knight. When they announced Shovel Knight was going to be in the game, which was pretty close to release, it was a month or two, a couple months, I forget. So much has happened in the last 4 years. But when they announced it, I remember being a little, upset's not the right word, but because that it implies I had passion about it one way or another, but I felt like it was doing a little bit of a disservice to Yooka-Laylee in general, because I felt like Shovel Knight was this huge independent game. I mean, one of the most successful indie games of all time by any measure. And it felt like Yooka-Laylee was sort of putting itself beneath Shovel Knight a little bit when it didn't need to. It had all this hype and buzz about it. I was wrong. It's fine. I mean, Shovel Knight appears in everything. It's kind of a joke at this point. I mean, in a good way. Like, it's just part of Shovel Knight's mythos that Shovel Knight will appear in any franchise it can get into. And so it's cool that Yooka-Laylee is part of that. I thought at the time it was kind of like kissing the ring of Yacht Club when Playtonic, made up of veterans from Rare, why would they need to do that? But it's just a nice little bit of indie solidarity, because Playtonic were the new kids on the block, and Yacht Club had been so successful. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I've matured since then too. I'm not so much of the Rare/Playtonic absolutist as I was the zealot. I'm still a zealot, but I'm a lot more, I guess I'm a lot more mellow when it comes to other entities existing alongside Playtonic. This is cool too, because Shovel Knight is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, not as a playable character, but as an assist trophy. So it's cool that he meets Yooka-Laylee, and then also interacts with Banjo and Kazooie, much in the same way that Royston meets Yooka-Laylee in this game. So it's nice that, Yooka-Laylee have tangible character connections to Banjo and Kazooie, even if they've never met, and probably never will meet. I hope they meet one day, but alright, let's talk to Shovel Knight. I think this is what rubbed me the wrong way about the Shovel Knight reveal, though, is because in the trailer that revealed Shovel Knight, they had dialogue that made it seem like Laylee was sucking up the Shovel Knight, and it just didn't. It rang a little hollow to me, because Laylee was already clearly a Kazooie XP, and Shovel Knight, despite being this big success and this guest character, you would think, well, why would Laylee bow before Shovel Knight of all characters? She should give him just as much shit as she gives everyone else. But in-game, it's fine. The execution is fine. She doesn't do that. So ultimately, that was part of me mellowing out about this. Alright, so here we go. You can already see the platforming is more intense in the expanded tome. You've got these wobbly platforms that are like a seesaw kind of effect. Ah, come on. So they've kind of taken off the kids' gloves just a little bit. Although this is still, the easiest world, so... Go! What did I do? I have no idea what happened. I'm so turned around now. What? I'm glad I'm not the. I just checked the chat. I'm not the only one who saw that. I was like, am I having a stroke? All right, so I've got to. All right, there we go. I was having trouble bringing it up. No. Oh, there's the other one. All right, I remember what to do now. Just suddenly, like, warping here, or I don't know what happened. Just threw me for such a loop that I completely lost my train of thought. Like, do I have COVID? Do I have COVID brain? Is that a thing? Am I having some sort of psychotic episode? Ah, the googly eyes. Yes. So I want to talk about the googly eyes. I forget they debut in this. And I let them possess those things. Oh my god, the laughter is so creepy. I let them possess those things so we could get a good look at what they do, and I regret everything now. Okay. I'm near death, but yeah, the googly eyes are obviously a riff on the heritage of Rare and Rare character design in the age of Banjo-Kazooie and Diddy Kong Racing, where they would just stick googly eyes on anything and call it a character. I mean, think back to like Topper and Collywobble and Ball, the vegetables from Spiral Mountain and Banjo-Kazooie. But I love that they made them enemies in this game. Little parasites that attach themselves to any inanimate object and then possess it. Alright. Wedge that loose.
Yo, yo, oh, oh, yo, oh, yo, yo.
Alright. Yeah, but so what Playtonic did, right, was they actually created an in-universe logic behind why so many things even Banjo and Conker and like Donkey Kong 64 are just things with googly eyes. It's because these parasitic entities, the googly eyes themselves, attach themselves to things and then create new life forms from them. And it's weird and upsetting in so many ways, but it gives a reason in Yooka-Laylee why things like those characters exist, and it also kind of retcons the whole of Rare's N64 years. And yeah, it's all down to the googly eyes. I have so many quills I need to get here, but I skipped over this part initially, so I was just kind of thrown into it, and my god. a weird little weird little glitch. Not as bad as some of the ones in Donkey Kong 64 though. That game still takes the cake. Actually, it doesn't take the cake. You fall through the cake onto the other side of the cake, never getting to taste the cake. Alright. So I have to go back up there to properly find everything I missed. But I think I... Okay, so I'm back where I was. Alright. Yeah, man, that short-circuited my brain pretty severely. I apologize, just threw me off my game, because you don't expect that to happen, right? You expect, you know, the occasional hiccup, but you don't expect to just find yourself in a new location that you shouldn't have been to yet. Alright, let's get back to Shovel Knight. That whole ordeal could have killed me. I'm amazed I made it back without dying. So, my brain read that as, we've recovered the jewel. And then I thought Yooka was saying, shove it. Like, should I shove it up your asshole? This reminds me of my theory when Yooka-Laylee was announced, because the Kickstarter was going to end with E3 2016. And I remember having this wild theory that there was going to be a character cameo in every edition of Yooka-Laylee. So I thought they were going to negotiate with Nintendo to have Diddy Kong appear as a guest character on, I guess then, the Wii U. Or maybe, no, E3 2015, excuse me. Yeah, E3 2015. I thought they were going to have Diddy Kong appear on the Wii U version, which became the Switch version. I thought they were going to have Banjo-Kazooie appear on the Xbox One version, and so on and so forth. And Shovel Knight was the only character cameo outside of the legally ambiguous Royston. But I would still very much like to see the Kongs make an actual appearance in Yooka-Laylee. Impossible Lair did reference Donkey Kong quite a bit. So here is that quill. And this is the result of, speaking of Diddy Kong, Kev Bayless. Kev Bayless was the one who stuck this quill here. The creator of Diddy Kong is an asshole. He is also the voice of Tricky, Whizpig, and it's a Playtonic staffer now, also part of DK Creations with David Wise. So.
Yo.
So yeah, who knows? Maybe Yooka and Laylee will appear in a future Shovel Knight game. They have made their rounds in the years since this game came out. They've appeared in Brawl Out is the big one so far, which is kind of like the indie Smash clone, not Brawlhalla, Brawl Out. And what else have they appeared in? Well, Yooka did appear in Tracky Train. That's a whole can of worms right there. Because Banjo sort of appeared in Tracky Train too. So maybe they did meet there, but that's kind of a Royston situation with Banjo. Long story, I'll save that for another day. They appeared, well, they didn't really appear in Brief Battles. It wasn't actually them. They were just Yooka-Laylee costumes in Brief Battles. But, Playtonic is alluding that there are going to be more appearances for Yooka-Laylee ahead in other studios' games. Forgot how low my health was until I got hit by that corplet. Alright, so what should I do now? I could go visit Rampo. I could just go do the boss. See? There he is. Here he is up there. There's Rampo. Hi, Rampo. Yeah, let's go do Rampo. Let's go do him. Now, if I want to do him, I'll go transform into the plant again and hose him down. Which I wonder, I probably can't get up there as the plant, but I wonder if anybody's ever tried to hose Rampo down. So I went up here before. Yeah, I got it. I know Rampo's there. So yeah, that Rampo reminds me of my dad. Who's always going on about solicitors, like some paranoid, crazy person. Rampo really exemplifies the charm of Yooka-Laylee's world. Really, like the whole Donkey Kong universe, Rare universe, however you want to parcel it out. But Rampo is this basically like God, right? He is this like deity type entity created in the grand tome of Tribalstack Tropics, which is a storybook brought to life, right? So Rampo is this fantastical concept creation. But when you bring something like that to life through the power of the Infinity Ink and the pages or whatever, what happens after that? Well, they become regular folk, and with the same problems that regular people encounter, such as door-to-door salesmen, and they have the same annoyances as regular people do. They have the same phobias and fears and just triggers. And that is what is so absurdly wonderful about really all of these games. The very British sensibilities of Playtonic and Rare. It's that it's rooted in the mundane, even the fantastical and absurd. This cycloptic god wall creature up here. He thinks I'm a door-to-door salesman, and he won't have it. And yeah, he can go about, you know, attacking me through various means, but it's just rooted in such a pathetic normalcy. And that's what I find so relatable, that no matter how far-fetched these games get, there is that connection to the real world. And I've noticed this is a particular trait of Andy Robinson's writing, who did the bulk of the writing for this game. But it is rooted in that same British sensibility that you would get from the writing of, like, Lee Loveday at Rare, or I guess Daley Johnson now at Playtonic. And like I said, I love it. I'm actually have had this video in the works for a while. I don't know when I'll ever finish it, but just kind of exploring the beautiful mundaneness of Yooka-Laylee. Alright. Oh! I got smacked. I was hoping that wouldn't happen so early in the fight. It's been a long time since I've done this. Do I even remember what I'm doing here? Well, I guess I better figure that out, huh? There we go. Rampo's teeth become a plot point later on in Impossible Lair. Which, cause and effect, right? This is another thing that makes these games great. And when I say these games, I'm referring to Playtonic and Rare. And I don't mean to keep bringing it back to Rare, but it's hard not to consider, you know, where the team came from and what they are drawing on here. Oh, those brambles. They always get me. Yeah, but I love the continuity. How things that happen in one game will be followed through in another game. That's always been a huge draw for me in the Rare style. Jesus. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about another deity in front of you, Rampo. Oh, mighty Rampo. Oh no! Alright, alright. Yeah, give it. Oh, did I do it? Did I really do it? I like to think maybe Laylee, I should say, Laylee does retire eventually and become a window salesperson. And I love that you can walk on the eye. This is not upsetting at all. You know, I have worn contact lenses since junior high, right? Like my eyesight, it's not terrible and it's stabilized, but I do, you know, I require corrective lenses. So I am not afraid of touching my eye. I have no phobia and fear. I've been doing it since I was in 7th grade. So for those of you at home, that's Donkey Kong Country 3. Since the time of Donkey Kong Country 3, because I'm fucking old, I have been touching my eyeball. And I realize this might upset some of you watching. Seeing these characters trample this eyeball, stepping on its gooiness, irritating it, squishing it. Some of you have a phobia about this, and that's quite understandable. I, on the other hand, would welcome a lizard traipsing about my cornea. Why not? I touch it every day. It's fine. I'm touching it right now. Look, oh yeah. I don't know if you can hear that squishiness, but that's me touching my own eyeball. So this doesn't upset me in the slightest. I can do that. Oh, that upsets him. Oh. And there's quills hiding behind here. Just 3. Rampo is a stupid character. Can I just say how stupid this whole concept is? And they knew how stupid it was, but they made it work. And I think Rampo is delightful, and I love that he came back in Impossible Lair in a minor role. Yeah, how do you bring a character like this back? You wouldn't think that to be a possibility. Oh, I've lost 2 viewers from my eye routine. I'm so sorry if that upset you. Just Andre in a live stream asked, so is Rampo's name a Rambo reference since this is Jungle World? I don't know, because is Rambi a Rambo reference? Rambi the Rhino, is that a Rambo reference? Or is it just the fact that they designed a boss that was a giant ramp and they put O at the end of it, as is their wont in life? I mean, Impossible Lair has a character named Pipo, for Christ's sake, so I don't know if it is a reference to Rambo, the Sylvester Stallone character, but I do know that Rampo definitely drew first blood here, and so I feel no qualms about what happened to him. Replenish my health. They were very generous with the butterflies here. Like, it's not hard to stay alive in this situation. And now I can reach those, which I couldn't before I expanded the tome. There might be a way. As I displayed earlier when I just, like, clipped through part of the world, I'm sure there's a way to, like, nerf it. Alright. Is there a shortcut back? Do I have to go down the whole thing? I mean, I could just... Well! Thing is, if you just jump down willy-nilly somewhere here, there is the possibility that you will just fall off the edge of the world, so I try not to do that too much. All right, so I beat the boss. Now what? There's still plenty more to do. Gavin Price is very much a proponent of, like, getting to play against the boss, or, like, experiencing a boss fight really whenever you want in a world. He's talked about that, and that was part of Yooka-Laylee's design philosophy is, you know, if you're a boss aficionado, if you enjoy the challenge that a boss fight provides, you should be able to play it whenever, not, like, arbitrarily have to progress to that. Which is kind of seen in the Banjo-Kazooie design. Not Donkey Kong 64, but definitely Banjo-Kazooie had a bit of that. And Tooie to an extent. Oh. I already got this, but I'm trying to get up because I see those quills right above the world entrance, the tome entrance. And so I'm trying to basically parkour my way over. And yeah, they didn't design these worlds with quill placement in mind. It wasn't like, oh, let's make it so, you know, you have to, like, walk across there and get to there. They literally, like, all had a hand in putting quills in after these worlds were already designed. So that's why it's just weird. Like, why are there quills up here? Because they put them up there. That's why. And you could say, like, well, that's not good game design. But I don't know. I enjoy it. All right. Not everything has to be precise. Not everything has to, like, have loads of, like, philosophy behind it from a book. Sometimes you can just do things, and whether people enjoy it or not, it's up to them. It's up to their personal play style. I think that one quill that was hiding by Shovel Knight, that was probably a bit much, but I like how a lot of this game is just sort of fumbling around with the environment, looking for solutions to problems, and how there might not be a clear-cut solution. Because the draw for this game, for me, is the excellent play control, and that I can sort of, I don't know, spam the environment with Yooka-Laylee's moves until I find a way to get to something I need. I don't know, it's kind of cool. So that little dust storm up there, there is a way for me to do it now. But it's hard. It's challenging. It's just easier to come back when I have the move that will really just allow me to grab it. Essentially, there is a Pagey flying around on the top of Duke's temple. And, well, let me just go up there and I'll show you. If I can remember how to get up there. Hey! Dick. Alright. I think... Do I just... Whoa. Don't want to slide off. Yeah, oh, come on. Alright, the camera won't even let me bend it around here. There we go. So yeah, I honestly forget how to get up here. But Rampo is up there. Not Rampo, that's the boss. Planker. Planker, or I guess a planker. Because we learned that plankers are a drone species. There we go. I just have to jump up the plant. Where is he? There's Planker, or a Planker. And see, this talking sign thinks Yooka and Laylee are garbage men. That's what I'm talking about, how everything fantastical is rooted in the ordinary. And you're talking about housing markets and making this an apartment, and it's just... I like how the filth of our society infects the wonderfully sublime of these worlds. So yeah, that Pagey is flying around in a windstorm, and if I were to jump up just right, there'd be a way to do it, but I can also just wait until I can fly, until Laylee can actually just jump up and grab it, and why wouldn't you just wait to do that? I do want to get any quills I can. So easy to fall off here. I forget this is the one I need to take. I spent ages trying to get this before I just gave up. Because I wasn't looking up, you know, any guides online to try to beat Yooka-Laylee. I was just trying to figure out myself, and I remember thinking, there has to be a way to get this. There has to be a way to get this. And I just gave up and tried to have faith that I wasn't supposed to get it yet. That was ultimately better for my mental health, but it was also really hard for me to let something like that go. I must have spent like a solid, I don't want to say 2 hours. Wish I could jump in this giant flower here to get Get up there. I like how springy the plants are, though. Like, not springy, like I can't spring jump off them or anything, but they just bounce when you rustle in them. Yeah. So, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I want to. Like, my brain is telling me, go for it. Spend 4 hours trying to get it. Who cares? Like, I'm the person who trains their Pokemon in the grass outside Pallet Town and is perfectly content spending hundreds of hours doing so until I have a level 100 Blastoise. I'm not going to do that on DK Vine Done Slow. Yes, this is DK Vine Done Slow, but even you who have agreed to watch this have your limits. So I will not subject yourself to the full insanity of my insanity. Alright, might as well go up here. We have about 30 minutes left before this edition of the stream is over. I could go in there. I know there's something I can't get until I learn the, like, camo move. So, I know that's inside the temple. But I guess I'm going inside the temple one way or another. Well, it doesn't hurt to explore. Oh yeah, this part. I'm really just collecting quills at this point. I don't know what I'm really doing. Well, I know I'll be going up through here again and again and again. Oh, no, don't do it! That is such a creepy laugh. I don't know why they went with that, that decision to have the googly eyes be, I don't know, like otherworldly entities almost. I just remember how disconcerting it was when I was first exploring the upper regions of Tribalstack Tropics back in 2017 and introduced the googly eyes, who you see when you first load up the game. But, yeah, they're just something, like, this game is full of, like, some vague creepypasta shit, right? Like, all of the skulls and rib cages that you find strewn about the game for no discernible reason. The weird pirate treasure that we still don't know the purpose of. And just the ethereal nature of the googly eyes when you're already suffering from vertigo being this high. And then these things are just laughing at you. Hey, there's the final Ghost Rider. The one who will just straight up attack you because he's angry. I like how he cheers. What do I have to do here? Do I just beat him? I think I have to hit him when he changes color. There we go. Jinjo! Yep, so that's good. I really like the Ghost Riders. I feel like that's a concept that improved on the Jinjos. And I love Jinjos as characters more, but the Ghost Riders from a gameplay perspective and a thematic like cohesiveness just works so much better, and I really want to see their backstories explored. How did they die? You know, like, let's get a Ghost Riders prequel. Forget about the Knights of Hamlet, Gavin. Give us Ghost Riders. That's what the people want. But when they were still alive, I want to see what their whole deal was. All right, so this is Nimbo. I almost called him Nympho. Guess that's his wife. And this is just an excuse to have a bunch of scatological humor. Yeah, that Nimbo's wife left him for a typhoon. Again, just ordinary concerns. Why, like, you wouldn't think that a cloud would have marital problems. Such domestic, trivial bullshit. But here we are. And yeah, it's just an excuse to make potty humor. Which I'm fine with, because I am 12 years old, eternally at my core. Why is there just a quill over here? Yeah, the quill placement, not as great as musical notes in banjo games, I will admit. I will, geez, why is there a quill over there? Yeah, just one quill hanging out. I like quills, and again, how they tie into everything better than musical notes, but placement-wise, musical notes are always a lot more logical than some of the quill placement. But again, I don't really have a problem with it. So, okay, so here's what we do with Nimbo. So I think the when he rains, that's him pissing. But now we flood everything. So where there was the dry canal before, look at that face. He's an angry. Oh, he enjoys it actually. Okay, but we can also then. Oh! It's like Boss Nass from off of Phantom Menace there. So I think snow is supposed to be him shitting? Although it could just be another jizz joke too. So now we've got ice in the jungle world. It's a good excuse. The little tropical freeze of Playtonic zone there. And then if I want to undo that. And that changes it back to rain. I can just ride the waterfall down. Yeah, so now we have all these environmental changes in the world. So in addition to the world being expanded, you can then drastically change it in 3 different forms, or at least the middle portion here, the canal. Or stream bed, or whatever this is. Moat. Moat? I guess it's a moat. It's nice to be able to just swim through. Go into Rampo's treasure chamber again. And then she's still in there too. I wonder what it's like to be inside the Grand Tome when it expands. Do you remember the way it was before? Or is your memory altered? Are you changed when the timeline changes? And you just always perceive this to have always existed? What if you, like, lost your car keys in a spot of the world that was then affected by the expansion? Would your car keys still be there? Or would they get, like, overwritten? These are the questions that keep me up at night. So, I could race her. Well, not when the canal is flooded. She won't have it. But yeah, if it's not flooded, you can race her, and it's possible to do it, but you need to reptile roll, and therefore you need to collect a lot of butterflies because your meter will run out. So it's better to just wait for when your I guess energy meter is longer, because then you don't need to rely on as many butterflies, and it's just simpler. So this middle part is now filled in. There's no longer just a gaping hole here. Although it's still a gaping hole, but now there's bits. There's bits to jump on. Oh, I died. Luckily, there are no lives in this game. And you just spawn out from the last place you exited, so it's fine. I was doing so well, though. I haven't died all stream. Oh, I love the way that waterfall looks coming down. And the waterfall's kind of, or the rainbow's kind of broken up by it, but yeah, it's great visual. I really hate that middle part. Do I want to do it, or do I want to just go in here? I'll save that. I'm not gonna have time to really venture into the temple. That can be next time. I'm gonna try to do this middle part and get it over with. 'Cause yeah, it's just a lot of falling to your death, or a lot of me falling to my death. That's how I play it. And these are where the, you see those bees right there? This is where they come in. And these bees are assholes. They are not the friendly beetalions. Okay. Yeah, they are not the friendlier bees you meet in Impossible Lair. These are minions of capital B through and through. Luckily, there's no time limit here where the platforms will disappear after a certain amount of time. Which allows you... Oh, come on. That allows you enough time to fight those things, though, without having to multitask. Multitask the time limit running out. There we go. That wasn't so bad. I remember it being a lot worse than that. I think. You know, the first time you play something and you're not acquainted with it, it can be daunting because you don't really know what to expect. And then you just play it again and you're like, oh, what was I so worried about? I think what I'm worried about is those 2 quills. Ah, come on. It was worth it. I don't have any regrets. Andreas, this isn't only your second playthrough of Yooka-Laylee, is it? Complete playthrough on the Xbox. So I played through it on Xbox One and I played through it on Switch. And then any other playing I've done of it is bits. Jumping in, getting screenshots, or just documenting things for the site. Or video capture. So, like, this is my 3rd full playthrough of it, but it's been since it came out on the Switch. So, and sometimes, like, the little details, like that middle bit right there, I completely forget about. Or I remember them in a distorted fashion as being harder than they actually are. Inside the monument. And so here is where I need a move that I don't have. I remember how frustrating it was in Banjo-Kazooie when you needed the turbo trainers and you didn't learn those until Gobi's Valley. And how upsetting it was to like leave 1 Jiggy. I think there was just like 1 Jiggy in the whole game you couldn't get in chronological order. And that was just so weird. That was so weird and upsetting. And then Banjo-Tooie came along and said, oh, like, worlds don't matter anymore, let go. And this game is sort of a middle ground between Kazooie and Tooie in that it has a clearer structure that's similar to Banjo-Kazooie, but a lot of its philosophies are cribbed from Tooie. So you just have to accept that you can't get everything. And that's fine if you're, like, sticking with the game. If you, like, pick it up and try to pick it up months later, it can be almost impossible to figure out, like, where you left off or what you have to do or how much of a world you've ticked off. that's why 2E is such a hard game to just jump into after you haven't touched it for a while. You have to be committed. Nice. You have to be committed to playing a game like 2E. And this is kind of right there, smack dab in the middle. It's easier to jump into after an absence, but I wouldn't recommend it. But like a game like Banjo-Kazooie, it's more suited to short burst. Notice I didn't mention Donkey Kong 64 in any of that discussion. I'm not sure when it's suitable to play that game. Oh no! Nope, 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 nope. Well, yeah. I remember I was talking with Daly once about Kartos, and she was shocked that I didn't like him. And I like the concept. I like everything about Kartos except the God of War. Yeah, you have to get that joke in. I like everything about Kartos except the actual minecart stages. If they were more like the minecart stages in Donkey Kong 64 or Tropical Freeze's minecart stages with like the perspective shifted from the traditional 2D, that would be fine. That would be great. There's just something about the Kartos stages that I feel like they wanted to reference Donkey Kong Country. Like, this is a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, and they wanted to get a little bit for Donkey Kong fans in there, and so they're like, let's do minecart stages. The problem is, you know, this came almost like 3 years after Tropical Freeze, which I feel like have the definitive minecart stages out of the entire DKU. And so it just couldn't compete. And it's also weird that Kartos like mentions like minecart platforming or just minecarts in video games in general as like this relic of the past. Well, not only is this just 3 years after Tropical Freeze, but also Minecraft is what a lot of younger gamers think of when they think of minecarts. So I understand this is a Donkey Kong reference. I don't even remember how much I'm supposed to be collecting here. So yeah, this isn't bad. But later Kartos stages are just yeah, they're a bit clunky, and the wonderful gameplay of the actual worlds, you're deprived of that. Sort of like the problem people have with the Rextro games, although Rextro, I'm a bit more forgiving there. And maybe that's just because, my hopes were a lot higher for this. It's a great David Wise track though. Shit! Nice one, partners. Does that mean I did it? I wasn't paying attention to how many I had to collect. It's also weird we've never had an anthropomorphic minecart character in Donkey Kong. Even in like the weirder, more abstract, cartoony Donkey Kong games like Donkey Kong 64. It works for Yooka-Laylee though. It wouldn't work for Donkey Kong. I mean, you could make it work theoretically, but it would have to be more of a robot than an actual living entity. Alright, I did it. No. I really do like how you do see... Now, it's weird that the, like, minecart track just magically appears. But I do like how it takes you through kind of a tour of the world. That's a nice little detail. I like that. I thought this was so weird when I first played the game. Why are there glowing cannonballs? No, out of, like, no context. Nothing to tell me, hey, you can't collect, you can't do anything with these now, but they'll become important later. It's just like, what are those? Why are they glowing? Well, I guess we'll save that, won't we? Alright, well, that is, I guess, as good of any place to end the stream, with me meeting and beating the first Kartos stage. I will grow to loathe him as the game goes on. Thank you so much for watching DK Vine Done Slow. Just real quick, want to give a shout out to those who watched in the live stream. Just Andre is there. As normal. Oh, Sushi Nap said, remember to speed up and slow down. That's my problem with Kartos, is I forget to slow down. I just go for it. I play it like a Donkey Kong minecart. And I feel like if you're going to homage Kartos, if you're going to homage the minecart sequences in Donkey Kong with something like Kartos, it should have similar mechanics and come in as relatively soon as it did after Tropical Freeze. It was just hard for me to wrap my head around. Anyway, Andre says, the bigger thing is that minecart sections in games were never enough of a trope that there was some backlash against them. It's just they tried to repeat the nobody wants collectathons anymore joke from the beginning of Nuts and Bolts, but it's poorly advised that that joke was in the context of that game's release. It at least had actual grounding. Yeah, that's right, like, nobody was ever thinking minecart sequences in video games. All right, Grandpa. Like, it was a cool bit in Donkey Kong Country that was an homage to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's all it ever was. It became synonymous with Donkey Kong Country, especially after Donkey Kong 64 brought it back, and then Retro made it a huge centerpiece of its games. Because, you know, the mechanics were still there in Country 2 and 3, but they just changed what they were to a roller coaster and then a toboggan, respectively. So yeah, it was always just associated with Donkey Kong, and then it became sort of like, oh yeah, there are minecarts in Minecraft, but like the actual like gameplay was associated with Donkey Kong. So this was just kind of them going to that well and it not really making any sense in any sort of context or context. But I do like Kartos as a character. I feel like I'm giving him shit. I feel like I would like to see Kartos in something like Impossible Lair, and I know like he was in Impossible Lair, but the actual like minecart sequences would have been a lot of fun to see Playtonic revive them in their proper context and perspective and gameplay. But anyway, I'll whine about Kartos later on when I have to fight a boss inside of him. Thank you so much for watching DK Vine Done Slow. We will be back next week with more of Tribalstack Tropics. Hopefully we'll wrap up Tribalstack next week and move on to Glitter Glaze Glacier. But hey, this is DK Vine Done Slow. Alright, let me get over my fear of heights right now. Oh shit. I was hoping to fall to my death and I just hit the thing. There we go. That's a nice proper... That's how you get over a fear of anything, is you die from it. Alright. Thanks, everyone. See you later.